You're watching PEGRI TV, Rhode Island's public access channel.
Folks, and welcome to another edition of An Hour with Bob. And we got some beautiful ladies with us here today. They start at 4 years old and they go up to a few years older than 4. All right. This is what do we call this? Susanna. How you doing? Oh, Suzette.
Suzette. Yes.
Suzette. Suzette. Sousa.
Sousa. Yes.
SS. Suzette. Sousa.
S-O-U-S-A. Yeah.
Now wait a minute. It's been a while. You were here a while ago. I know that.
Yeah.
I don't forget a name, and I never forget a beautiful woman. So.
Oh, thank you. You are remembering correctly. Our last encounter here on the set was East Providence. This was East Providence 2013. So it's been a good 6 years since we've been sitting here at this very table.
Wow.
And if you recall, I had my 2 little ones with me.
You did.
My little one, who's now 10, she wanted to take over the whole scene.
And she did. Yes.
And you had to tell her to be quiet. You're like, okay. We've got to be quiet so Mom can speak, but I think you remember that day pretty clearly. So we had a good day, and thank you so much for having us and welcoming us back.
Yes, and you brought some beautiful ladies with you, young. And how are you there, 4-year-old? Huh? What's your name?
Kaitlyn.
Kaitlyn? Wow, you're 4 years old and you are Miss what? What is your title? Do you know what it is? Yeah, she's just being shy. What is it? What is the title?
I don't know it.
So she's one of our Miss Mini.
Miss Mini?
Miss Mini, yes. We have 5 categories in the Miss Dia de Portugal, or Miss Day of Portugal pageant.
Now say that again. How do you say that, Miss?
In Portuguese, it's Miss Dia de Portugal.
Miss Dia de Portugal.
Sounds very fancy when you say it.
Like that, right?
Yes, yes. So Miss Dia de Portugal, which is really Miss Day of Portugal.
Now, I should know that. I was married to a Portuguese woman for 18 years, so I should know this stuff, right?
Well, yes, you absolutely should.
But I really don't.
That's okay.
A little bit. I do remember some of it. All the swear words I do know.
Of course. I think everybody.
Because they were used. No, they were used on me a lot. So what is this and where is it? It's the end of this month, right?
No, actually, it's going to be on May 5th.
Oh, May 5th. What am I? I'll be saying.
May 5th. Yeah, so that's it's very fast approaching.
Yep.
And it is going to be over at the Club Juvenile Lusitania, which is a Portuguese social club over in Cumberland. And
wait a minute. Which one is that? There's a couple of them in Cumberland.
It's right over
High Street?
on Chase. It's off of High Street.
Off
so it's
of
on
High.
Chase Street.
Chase Street. Oh, that's right. Is that the one right across from the City Hall, Town Hall?
Yes.
Yes.
Right across. They have
Yeah,
the huge
up the
festival
side
every June.
street there. Yeah, I was there recently with the Lieutenant Governor, who's I worked for a couple of years. Lieutenant Governor McKee, who was the former mayor of Cumberland, and he's now the Lieutenant Governor.
Yes, he is.
And I was there for an event with him, I don't know, last month, I think.
Okay.
And I've been there several times, actually.
So you're familiar with our organization, and
Yes, I am.
It's a great location, and we're looking forward to having another fantastic event there again this year. So we wouldn't have it any other way. So
That's called the Valley, by the way.
The Valley,
The Valley.
yes.
And do you know why I know that? You know why that's important to me? I was literally born in the Valley.
Huh.
I said to the Lieutenant Governor and all his friends were all around one day and we're talking about, they're all from Cumberland, I'm from Pawtucket, which is where we're shooting the show. But I was born in Cumberland. And none of them can say that. And they said, well, what do you mean? No, you're from Pawtucket. I go, no, I was literally born in a house on 20 Eddy Street in the Valley, in Cumberland. And none of them were born in Cumberland. They were all born in hospitals.
Oh, see?
So I was born in a house.
World.
How do you like that, huh?
So this was
How many
meant
people
to
you
be.
know were born in a house? I was born in a house. My grandmother ran out when I started coming out.
My gosh, we should be interviewing you instead.
That's right, that's right. Okay, so this is This is the, say it again, I love that, how you say that.
The Miss Dia de Portugal pageant,
Pageant.
which is May 5th. We're having it, like we said, at the Club Juventude Lusitania. It's going to be at 1 p.m.
Right.
And what we really, really love about this pageant, and I really wanted to bring it to light as the new director this year, is that it is not only just your regular pageant, you know, beauty pageants. You know, I'm familiar with pageants,
Right,
I'm
sure.
familiar with directorship, and now bringing these two together has been quite the experience. But what's so fantastic and what really caught my heart on this pageant is that it is all about heritage. It is all about getting these young ladies involved
Right.
in their heritage. We're not looking for the prettiest or the one with the, you know, most expensive gown. And I brought this up at my last informational seminar that you can go up and you can rock a potato sack. You can go up there in a potato sack and
You can
represent
rock
your
a potato sack?
rock a potato
Rock
sack
a
and
potato
still do
sack.
well.
I like
You
that.
know, we always said Miss Universe Olivia Culpo, who I'm pretty sure you
Yeah, I've interviewed
may
her.
have interviewed her.
Yes.
She won in a rented gown, and we all know that she said she was very, very open about it. I had a hole in the back of my dress, and she went all the way to Universe. So
Right.
I told these girls, same thing. We're looking for the best representative of the Portuguese culture.
Uh-huh.
We're not looking for, you know, we're just looking for that girl that has that
Portuguese.
that Portuguese.
The
Yeah,
Portuguese,
representative
right?
would be a great role model as well. I really, really do enforce role model and being
Sure.
a good individual, good-hearted, kind-hearted, and willing to learn more and look into their culture, whether you're 1% Portuguese or 100% Portuguese.
Right,
so
right.
we are very thrilled.
And who's this young lady right here?
I'm Alexandra Martins, and I won last year Mini Miss Juvenile.
Mini Miss what?
Juvenile.
Which stands for juvenile.
Juvenile.
So there are
I was a
five-
juvenile delinquent when I was a kid.
Oh my gosh, I can only
So you were Little Miss Juvenile, huh?
Yes.
That was last year.
Yes.
And what are you this year?
I am not running this year.
You're not running. So we're here to promote this new pageant and to get people, my understanding is correct?
Yes.
You want to get contestants to,
Right.
to-
So
to
basically,
vie
this
for
is
it.
our class of 2018, which consisted
Okay.
of 5 different categories.
Right.
And it was all based on age. And unfortunately, one of our 5 girls, Mackenzie, which is her big sister, had to go to another practice. So unfortunately, she's not here. But the 5 categories of girls that we had all represent different age groups.
Right.
And they encompass our class of 2018. So
I get
they are going to be crowning their successors come May 5th.
oh, I got it.
So yes, we are actively recruiting through the month of March. April 1st, I'm going to consider that our cutoff. So we are looking for
So we
girls
got
of
three,
all time.
3.5, maybe 4 weeks, right?
Yes.
About 4 weeks.
Yes, and we're doing
Starting
very
now,
well.
folks, you got 4 weeks, a little less than 4 weeks to sign up. Where would they sign up?
Yes. So if you want to sign up and you are interested, and you're more than welcome to come on down, I really do encourage that you take a look at our website, which is the Day of Portugal, because this is a subset of the nonprofit organization,
Right.
Day of Portugal, which is usually held in June over at the Alexandra Skating Center. And you can find us at www.ridayofportugal.org.
Oh, that's easy enough.
Yeah, pretty easy. If you go down to the drop-down screen, look for events and then miss, you can find us there. Application rules and regulations, all of the details are all there. All of my contact information is there. We are also very heavily involved into social media. We are all over Facebook. We have a Facebook page, Miss Day of Portugal, RI. Make sure it's RI because
RI.
they do have Miss Day of Portugals in other states.
Of course.
And we
But
are
most of the
on
Portuguese are in Rhode Island, right?
Rhode Island, Massachusetts,
I
you
know,
know,
I know.
there's a little bit of Portuguese pretty much everywhere.
I
Like
know.
every
I
state,
know,
they're
I know.
everywhere.
But I think we have the highest percentage of Portuguese, don't we? Per proportion of population?
We have a pretty high percentage.
This
I
in-
would say
in the
between
Fall River
here
area,
and
yeah, right.
Massachusetts.
Because I have heard a statistic, I've been to the Azores, and I have heard the stat that there are more Azorians in Rhode Island and Bristol County, Massachusetts, than they are in the Azores.
That is probably very likely. I don't know the exact numbers. I couldn't sit here and tell you exact numbers, but that does sound just about right. But there are a lot of immigrants that have come over, and most of the young ladies that you see here are descendants of Portuguese immigrants.
Right.
So that's why this is so fantastic, is that they can delve deep into their heritage, into their ancestry, get to know a little bit about where they came from. All of these girls have different ancestry. Some come from mainland Portugal, some are from the Azores, us island girls. A few of us here that are island girls. So we all encompass the Portuguese flag, and it just gives them an opportunity to dig in deep. So, like I said, if you have any slight interest, please find us on the website, Facebook, Instagram, or you can also come down to the club every Monday from 6 to 8. We hold practices there. And
So you'd want them to come down in the next week or two, don't you? Don't you really want to get them in now? Because you got to decide, when do you pick the winners?
Well, they would all be coming down, and they could be doing
The whole
some
month. You got this whole month.
observations.
Any time of this month to come down and sign up?
Come down, observe, sign up, and then May 5th is our actual competition. The month of April, we're pretty much dedicating to finalizing, fine-tuning, getting all the fine details in of our choreography, our program books, all of those fine details that need to be done behind the scenes that I'm going to be doing while they're enjoying themselves in their last month of their reign. So,
Now,
Mama Suze,
talk
they
a
call us,
little
gonna be
bit-
a little stressed out.
And you, now you miss what?
My name is Veronica, and I'm Miss Junior Day of Portugal 2018.
Now, what's the range, the age range for the Miss Junior?
I believe it is 15 to 18.
15 to 18. Now, what'd you do as your reign? You were the reigning 2018. What did you have to do during the year? Did you?
So throughout the year, I volunteered my time at Club Juvenile Lusitana. I also danced rancho there. It's a Portuguese folkloric dancing. So yeah.
I've actually seen that, by the way.
Really,
It's pretty
yes,
cool.
it is
It's
pretty
precision.
cool.
It's precision.
It is very fun, yes. So yeah, I did a lot of performances there, and really just got myself known. And like Suzette said, there is the Day of Portugal festival down at the Alexandra Center.
Right.
And I actually met the president of Portugal there, which is very cool.
And I have too.
Yes.
I did too.
And I also won a trip to Portugal, so I went there
cool.
last year.
Did you? Now, was that the mainland or the islands?
Oh, we went to the mainland. That's where my family is from.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you are?
My name's Anastasia Pattison, and I'm the Miss Day of Portugal, Rhode Island, 2018 senior.
And that age range is what?
18 to 23.
18 to 23?
17 to 23.
17 to 23, yes.
Yep. And what did you do over this past year?
So, like Veronica and Suzette said, the Day of Portugal festivities down at the Alexandra Center. The Day of Portugal parade, we got to go in the convertibles, the cars.
Yes, yes.
And then I also met the president of Portugal, and I actually had the honor to hold the water fire torch at the water
cool.
fire.
Very cool.
So yes, I did walk the water fire trail, and then I also had the opportunity to go to Vieira do Castelo for Miss Queen Portugal to represent the United States of America. So I was the Miss Portugal USA 2018 over there representing, which was really cool.
That is neat.
Yeah.
Very
That was
neat.
huge for us, because that was kind of a, very first time that had happened, once kind of in a life opportunity, and that's the equivalent of the Miss USA out in Portugal.
Sure.
So when we got that invitation, we were ecstatic, and at the time, I had no idea that I would be directing this thing the next year. It was like, Sue, can you just be a coach to me? And so we coached her, we got her out there, and she came back with Miss Simpatia, which is our equivalent to congeniality. So for her to go out there and represent the United States and come back.
Now that was
with
in
the
where?
title, that was in Viana do Castelo in Portugal.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now that's big.
Yeah,
That's big.
it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Even though it was 5 days, it felt kind of short, and I made a lot of great friendships with all the the girls over there. But it was super fun.
And those
definitely.
friends that you will keep for a lifetime.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Well, that's great. So are you looking forward to crowning the new?
Yes. I'm very well. I'm a little bit
little
saddened,
sad,
but I'm excited for the new misses.
Right,
For sure.
right.
Definitely. Yeah.
Well, they will become part of our alumni group. They'll graduate. I keep saying class of 2018 as if this is college, but they'll soon go into the alumni group of Miss Day of Portugal's. And this pageant dates back all the way into, I believe, the late 70s. So there's quite a few of you title holders, and you'll be part of an elite group of women and young ladies that have shared this tradition. And I have some of the women that were like, I think Miss 1982, I talked to the other day, and she's like, oh, I remember that day like it was yesterday, and it was so fulfilling, and it's something that they carry with them for the rest of their lives.
Sure.
It's,
Well, isn't the girl on NCIS LA? She's from the Azores. Did you know that?
No,
You
I
didn't
did not
know that.
that.
None of you knew that, huh? See, I'm full of useless facts.
yeah. We're gonna have to investigate that one.
What's her name? Danny, I think they call her name. I can't think of her proper name, but she's the star, the tall, good-looking girl that's partnered with the long-haired guy. She's from the Azores, and she's got a distinguishing feature. One of her eyes is not white; it's black. What should be white is black on her eye.
Okay.
Interesting.
Look it up, check it out. She's from the Azores.
But hey, you know the Portuguese are everywhere, and we represent everywhere, and you know
And
we're
good cooks,
talented.
too.
Good
course.
Next to the Italians.
course.
Next to the Italians.
Of course, we won't take that away
That's
from you.
right.
We
You
won't
can't,
take
right?
that away from
You like Italian food?
Yes, we
Huh?
all do.
Yeah, you like
We all
meatballs?
do.
Yeah, all right, see? And Italian sausage?
Yeah.
Oh, see, all right.
There you go.
All right, so again, run it by us again. It's going to be when?
It's going to be May 5th at 1 p.m. at the Club Juventude Lusitana. And you will see this poster here. This will be our official event page. And we will be selling tickets starting in April. So if you're looking to compete, if you're looking to just buy tickets, please contact us. Like I said, www.ridayofportugal.org. You can Facebook us. You can Instagram us. Don't tweet us. We're not tweeting this year.
No
I'm not a big
tweeting.
tweeter. No, I'm not
No.
a big tweeter. My choreographer director, she's doing Instagram because I don't even do Instagram.
Uh-huh.
But you can find us on there. And it's going to be a spectacular show. It's going to be new. It's going to be fresh. It's going to be upbeat. But it's just going to be such a fun production. And tickets are $35.
Oh, no, can't say money. Can't say prices on the show. Oh.
Okay, sorry. But let's just say reasonable cost for ticket prices. It's going to include a 5-course dinner along with your entertainment. So it will be definitely worth your while to come down and visit and have a fantastic time and say goodbye to our class of 2018 and introduce our class of 2019.
I like it.
Another thing that we wanted to show, I'm pretty sure that viewers are probably looking at the very sparkly little shoes that are on top of
Very
the table
colorful.
here.
Go ahead.
And I am very, very proud of these bad boys. Now, let me tell you this. I am so excited to be involved and to just make this so big and make this so special for the girls that
Sure.
I actually had a connection, a contact that got me out
New
to
York?
Mark DeFang, who is a famous shoe designer out in New York City. And he works with select pageant systems in the United States, only a few. And when I talked to him, I went in with the intention of, okay, go in with an open mind and say, hey, my gosh, wouldn't it be so cool if we designed a shoe that had the Portuguese flag? Because he has a few countries that he works with. He's
Right.
got, I believe, United Kingdom, the U.S., and Portugal. He had never even heard of us before. He had said, you know, Portuguese people, I've never really heard. I mean, he wasn't too familiar with our
Right.
culture. So he looked us up, found that we were an interesting cause, and he calls me back and said, hey, I'd love to work with you. I'm going to design a shoe for you.
Nice.
After my mouth hit the floor, he created a prototype, and this is the official final product. This is my shoe, and it's
Oh,
going
it
to
is?
come. This, of course, the director
your
has to
shoe.
have her own
Oh,
shoe,
my God.
right?
Can I touch
so
this
this
shoe?
is my glass
Can I touch
slipper.
this
You
shoe?
can touch the shoe. You can touch. Be careful.
All right, yeah, let's see.
So it's fantastic because if you can take a look at the detail on it, the actual details are fantastic. And there's 2,500 stones per shoe.
Wow.
It took about 16 hours of handmade labor.
Don't tell me they put them on individually.
Individual
I told you not to tell me that.
crystals.
Are
You can kind of guess
serious?
that. Individual 16 hours of labor to put these
Wow.
shoes together. So the senior, which is Anastasia's category, will get a pair of these shoes. They are going to be right now special edition, so there will only be 2 like it made in the world. So it will be mine and then the next Miss Senior Day of Portugal. So ladies, if you want something one of a kind, super special,
Wow, there you
along
go.
with some other fantastic gifts, this is one of the fantastic items with matching clutch that will be coming in. So
There
we
you
are
go.
so proud of this. This is like our baby right now.
Well, thank you for coming by, and thank you for sharing that with us. And again, the date is?
May 5th, Cinco de Mayo.
All right, but you got to get, if you want to sign up and be part of it, you got to get in by the end of this month,
By
right?
March 30th, yes.
March 30th.
Yes,
Okay.
just so that we can get production and everything going and
Okay,
things
one
running
last time,
smoothly.
give us the website.
www.ridayofportugal.org and go under the drop down under events and miss. Applications can be found there or drop in Monday nights between 6 to 8 at the Club Juventude Lusitana.
Which
Sign
is
up,
in
come
English?
watch. The Juventude, so the Club Juventude Lusitania is
Lusitania
Yes,
Club,
the
which is what I
Lusitania
would
Club,
call it,
which
right?
is our Portuguese social club down in the valley.
In the valley.
Yes.
In the valley. Well, thank you for stopping by. And you too, young lady. And the two of you, thank you for
Thank
stopping
you for
by.
having
And to our
us.
sister, we'll have to say hi to Mackenzie.
Say hi to Mackenzie. Look at the camera, say
That's
hi.
what I got to do.
There you go. Well, thank you for stopping by.
Thank you for having us.
And we'll be right back. Well, folks, we're back on an Hour with Bob, and we're here with a good friend of mine, a longtime friend of mine. His name is Russ Gelfuso, and you may know him because he's part of the duet, which was called, or is called, the Cruz Brothers. If you drove down 95 at any given time in the last 30 years, has it been 30 years, Russ?
19,
80
no,
something?
I'm sorry, 1990.
1990.
Yes,
28
1990,
years,
yeah.
28 years,
You're right.
29 years, right?
Yep.
You drive down 95 on, was that in Cranston?
Wellington Avenue, yep.
But you see it right from 95. It was Dayton Tire there, right?
Dayton Tire
Oh,
was there first.
Right, and
Yeah.
there's always the Cruz Brothers, you and your brother Steven.
That's right. That was where we really started to take off.
But your place originally was,
In the basement of our father's law office.
which was
Literally on Plainfield Street.
on Plainfield Street.
Yeah.
On, what is that? It was
Plainfield and
Anywhere
Fletcher.
Travel.
Anywhere Travel.
Anywhere Travel.
Yes.
And how do I know that?
That was, my father started that in 1972.
Really?
Started in 72 in one room, and then we started with the Cruz Brothers from one room to the next room to the other room, and then finally we said to our father, we have to either leave or figure out another spot. And he said,
Right.
well, the basement's full of dirt. It's all yours as long as you pay rent. And yeah, so we actually.
Your father's a prominent lawyer in Rhode Island
Yeah,
back in the
yeah,
day.
he was very well regarded, but he loved to travel, and so he really enjoyed the travel business. And of course, when he started it, just like most lawyers, doctors, accountants, most professionals, you could travel for free as long as you just owned a travel agency. You didn't have to work there or anything.
Right.
You just had to you just had to own a business. So of course, everybody had a travel agency, even if there was just one person working there. And what happened was Connie Chung
Right.
actually was picking up some laundry for, like, Maury Povich was her husband, right?
Right.
Yeah, and the guy that was doing his laundry said, you know, I travel for free. And she said, well, how do you do that? She said, because my friend owns a travel agency and told me that if I did his clothes for free, I could travel for free.
Cut it out.
And that's how it started. That's what happened to the IATA cards, the IATAN cards, which is, of course, the travel agent's identification.
Right, so,
yeah,
you could,
because
so you could, they were abusing it.
that's all you needed was a business card. And that's how that started. And that's when everything got clamped down on, which was a good thing because
Sure.
the airlines, the cruise lines, the hotels, everybody, they were just giving it away. Yeah, that's over actually a laundry slip. And that's how.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it is. It is.
So everybody went there, your favorite, your best restaurant,
Anything.
they'd go,
Sure.
the chef would go.
And of course, people start to brag.
yes.
Yeah, I'm doing this. I get this for nothing. Well, they didn't get it for nothing after that. What was the show? Was this, I don't know if it was 60 Minutes or whatever one of the investigative shows.
Right.
And they went right to that laundromat.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Went there and said, yeah, we understand that you're traveling for free. And yeah, that's how that started. Isn't that something? Now, and of course then, the airlines, the cruise lines, everybody needed travel agents. And as you know, with the airlines, boy, you had to have a travel agent, but the problem was it wasn't profitable for the airlines, and it really wasn't profitable for the travel agent.
Yeah, they don't make much money when they book
No,
up.
and they have to, now they don't, as a matter of fact, at one point you had to, if you booked through a travel agent, you didn't get frequent flyer miles.
Really?
Yeah, it was either or. now a travel agent will charge a fee to book air. But the cruise lines are trying to get away from booking your air. Everybody is, basically, because they don't want to spend the money.
Right.
It costs a lot of money to book an airline ticket. So it really wasn't worth it. But if you look at the cruise lines, they go back and forth on it as far as providing, but they don't want to provide it. They
prefer not to.
Prefer not to, and they get you the shuttle from the airport to the ship.
Right.
And
No, they still do that?
they will. Some depends. You know, the funny thing is the business. I always see it on the internet. The top 10 worst occupations, always within the top 3 is travel agent.
Really?
Yeah, oh yeah, and they say that's just something that's gone by the wayside, and the cruise lines would love that to be heard because they want you to book directly.
Right.
Here's the problem with booking directly. First of all, if somebody works at Royal Caribbean, you call, they're only going to tell you what Royal Caribbean has.
Right.
Carnival may have a much
deal.
better deal on the same exact itinerary the same week.
Right.
But they don't know that, and they don't want it. It's like an independent insurance
I was just going to
agent.
say that. Just
It's
like
the
an
same-
independent insurance agent.
But here's the thing now. Compared to what we used to buy, when we used to book cabins, we would sit there, and if, say, they were doing a $99 air add-on, I would sit, and a couple of other people in the office would sit, and we would hold maybe 200 or 300 cabins and grab that $99 air
Okay, so
add-on.
what happens with those cabins if you don't sell them?
We would give them back,
Yep.
but we would be able to sell them because it was either out of Providence or out of Boston when we first started. Now we book all over the world, people all over the world.
What I'm amazed at is how big your little Rhode Island travel
It's
agent
crazy.
got with cruises. You guys
It's
became
crazy.
huge.
Anybody is familiar with Fane's Carpets, Apex?
Yep,
store?
right here in Pawtucket.
Richard Fane,
I know, and we've talked about that. In fact, I think I met him with you one time.
probably. He, of course, was
You were pretty friendly with him, as I know.
very. But again, he lived in Miami,
Right.
and their head office is in Oslo, Norway. But he always got the Providence Sunday Journal, and he would see Cruise Brothers,
Right,
Cruise
right.
Brothers, Cruise Brothers. And finally, he said to one of the reps, "Help those guys. They're not selling airline tickets. They're not doing bus trips. They're not doing hotel stuff. They're not doing all this other stuff.
They're
They're
doing
focusing
cruises."
on cruises, and nobody else was out there doing it." And he said, "We want you to get behind him." And it's funny. I was getting my hair cut one time when we first started out, and I ran into one of the Cardis, and they said the same thing happened with the furniture business, where one of the manufacturers saw that they were really working hard, and they pretty much got behind them
Right.
and said, "Okay, we're going to help you really develop your business." But yeah, Royal Caribbean, it was funny. One of the sales manager of Royal Caribbean called, and we had no basic knowledge even of sales or marketing. And the sales manager said, "You guys, because of you guys, we now have a 50% market share in Rhode Island." And I said, "Oh, is that good?" And he said, "Is that good?" He said, "The people in the marketing department keep calling me saying, this can't be. It's impossible that we own half of Rhode Island." Don't forget, you had Princess, Holland America, Carnival, Celebrity, all
you
the
had-
Norwegian
Royal
cruises.
Caribbean had half of the market?
the business coming out of Rhode Island. It was like it
was
was
for Royal
beyond a
Caribbean.
dream.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was absolutely beyond a dream. But yeah, Richard Fane, from being from Pawtucket, he took a liking to us, and he helped us. Not anything crazy,
Right.
but he knew that we were always out there fighting it day and night, just selling cruises. We were focused on cruises. So yeah, interesting though. But went all over the world with him. He's a heck of a nice guy. But he always watched out for the little Rhode Island guys. And when we broke the $5 million mark with Royal Caribbean,
What do you mean $5 million?
when we grossed $5 million with them the
Just
first
with Royal
time,
Caribbean?
just with Royal Caribbean, I guess they said we have to go up there and see what's going on. Now you have a travel agency on every corner down in Florida.
Right.
And here are these two guys in a basement in the middle of Johnston, Rhode Island, selling
What was that? Don't tell me. Was that Plainfield Street?
Plainfield and Fletcher. right on the
It was
corner
right on
there.
the curve there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. And so they said, we're coming to visit you. And then Carnival did the same thing, but it was the funniest thing. It was like something out of the Beverly Hillbillies. Here come these guys with these $1,000 suits on. They've got the limousine that took up the whole front of the building, and they get out, and Mike Applebaum, the sales manager, VP of sales, got out of the car and he looked around and he said, "You're
You were
kidding
still in
me,
the
right?"
basement? Or-
Yeah. Oh yeah, we were in the basement, and he said, "You gotta be kidding me." He said, "I gotta call the people down there because they couldn't believe what we
Right.
were doing. But we were open Friday nights, Saturdays, Sundays. We never stopped,
Right.
and we had the most. The first employee we had
Was it Chris?
Chris was there before me.
Really?
Yeah, I was living in California, and Chris was there before me. She was working up at Inskip.
Chris was my first cruise I booked for
Is that
Chris.
right?
Yep.
I think she was a lot of people's first cruise. She was a billing clerk at Inskip Motors, and she answered an ad, and my brother brought her in and saw her enthusiasm and saw she was just a
She's
real.
a peach.
She's
such
a doll.
wonderful
She's still with
person.
us.
I know. I couldn't believe it. I went in
Yeah.
to check out the new place,
Yeah,
which is
she's
on
still there.
Bull Hill Road now.
Yep.
Nice, by the way. Beautiful. I love the
Yeah,
I love the
thank
colors.
you. Yeah,
I
Stephen picked
really
those.
love the colors, and I got a good tour from Stephen's wife. She
good.
gave me a tour of the whole place, and don't you think, who do I run into?
Chris.
But Chris.
Well, I'll tell you one thing about now we needed. So there was Chris, myself, my sister Paula, and I, and Stephen, of course. And
You gave yourself twice, by the way.
did I?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Double
Me,
billing.
myself.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Me and I, you gave you.
So we had the place. We had opened one down at the arcade, right on the corner of the arcade.
Right.
And this guy came in and he said, "I want to book a Costa cruise," and I knew nothing about cruises
Right.
at all. Anyway,
Now, this is when you very first started.
first started my first cruise booking, and he came in and we booked. His name's Larry Nordstrom, and I booked him and his wife and his parents, and it was probably 4 or maybe 6 people. Anyway, we booked the cruise, booked them on a Costa cruise, and about 3 weeks later we ran an ad. Maybe 4 weeks later we ran an ad for a salesperson, for an agent. We would train. And who calls but Larry?
Larry himself.
And he said, "Russell, I don't know if you consider me to learn how to sell cruises or not." And I said, "Larry, I wouldn't consider you to sell cruises." He said, "Why not?" I said, "Because you're hired." I said, "Because it's me." I said, "I got to be honest with you. I booked you. You were the first person I ever booked. So it makes sense that you're going to be the first person we're going to
That I
hire."
hire.
And Larry is still there.
Really?
Larry is still there.
Wait a minute. I did talk to him when I was there. I
Yeah.
did talk to him.
Yep, he's still there. One thing about travel, so if anybody's, you hear about, everything's on computer and it's so unpersonal now and everything. It is so untrue. The cruise lines want you to book directly because they don't want to pay a commission.
Right.
But the reason they want you to do that is because they have to give the mega agencies like us a bunch of different deals.
Right.
And we know how to find the deals, and we have them on all different lines. So if you just call in, and I'll give you, I know you can't really say prices, but I
Right.
can say percentages.
Sure.
I just saw one on a suite, and the price that the cruise line had was a little over double what we could sell, the exact same cabin, which
Wow.
defies logic. It's like saying,
Sure.
okay, I'm going to buy a Ford, and I have to go to Paul Bailey's because he's got it cheaper than Ford. But that's the way it is in travel. It's an intangible. You cannot sell it every single week. It's not like selling paintbrushes of cars where if you don't sell it this week, yes, you're going to make a little less if you wait another week maybe. With this, once the ship leaves, it leaves.
It leaves.
If
Whether
it's
it's full
empty,
or it's
that's
empty,
right.
it doesn't make any difference.
Yep, and so that's why. But we get so many people. I mean, now over the years, I just run into people who they had never been on a cruise. We put them on their first cruise, and now they've been on 20,
Yep.
30. The best one I can tell you though, I think. I put the guy who used to write episodes of Love Boat. I put him on his first cruise.
Really?
Yeah, put him on a Royal Caribbean cruise out of Los Angeles. And
What was that ship they used to use? Was that a Princess?
the Nordic, no, they used the Princess
Right.
cruise. Yeah, they used
the
Princess.
Love Boat, right?
Yeah, the Love Boat. But I put him on a Royal Caribbean ship out of San Pedro, and I said to him, I can't believe you've never been on a cruise. How do you write a Princess or a Love Boat if you've never been on a cruise? He said, it doesn't matter where I was. I'm a writer.
Right.
You
He's
could
got
be
an
in a body
imagination.
shop, hair
He's got an
salon.
imagination.
And yeah, so I put him on. But one of the, I think the most rewarding cruise that I ever booked for anybody was there was a guy up in New Bedford. We were doing a cruise, a country and western cruise. Of course, there were all different themes on these
right,
ships, and
right.
this one happened to have a country and western. It was on the Norway, the big Norwegian cruise line ship.
Now,
the
the
Norway.
Norway, that was an older ship.
Old
Now,
ship.
that ship used to be the USS France.
Yes, you're right. Well, this,
And the difference between that kind of ship and one that's built for cruising is it's more of a V
very yes.
than it is the rounded bottom with the
You're right.
stabilizers, right?
Yes.
So that ship, you're going to get a lot more movement
Yes, which now that's the thing of the past.
Right.
All of that stuff.
Now, go ahead, finish that. I want to ask you about
This-
the stabilizers. Go ahead.
This
finish
lady
that.
came in. So anyway, we did a group cruise. We bought some time on WCTK, the country, Cat Country. And so I said, well, let's see what happens. Country and Western music was just really becoming very popular at that time. And this woman came in and said, my husband is a sheetrocker, and but he plays in a country and Western band at night. And after he's out slinging sheetrock all day long, he's out there. He's a guitar player and a singer. And she said, I'm surprising him with this cruise for Christmas.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it really, I still remember it, 20-something years ago. And so anyway, we got the tickets to them and everything. And the cruise, I want to say it was like in April or so. I get a letter from this woman and said, you will not believe what happened. My husband and I were on the ship. There was a talent contest. He got up. He started playing. At the time, the big people were Tanya Tucker, Colin Ray, George Jones, and a few other big names now. Anyway, George Jones's manager was in the audience,
Right.
and brought George Jones down from his cabin, and said, "You got to hear this guy." And they got a $50,000 advance to move to is it Branson,
Oh, yeah.
where he has his.
Yeah.
I guess he had a nightclub there. And she said, you changed my husband's, you changed our lives. I didn't do anything. All I
that's
did was
Missouri. That's in
advertise
Missouri.
it. Yes, yeah, you're right. I said, I didn't do it, you did. But imagine if they didn't go on that cruise. But you hear about it all the time where people's lives are changed, and now.
I was on a cruise, or trying to get a friend of mine. A guy's 10 years older than me, and this guy worked all his life, never been on a cruise. I forget which way it was. One of them didn't like boats, and the other one didn't like planes. So trying to get him to Miami was one problem, and then trying to get him on the boat when they got to Miami was another problem.
Yeah.
Well, it took me forever to do this, but I did. I finally put it together, and I got him to join me and the girl I was dating at the time on a cruise. Since they were on that boat, we got on the boat, and I like to be on the table. You get your choice, as you know, the 10 people, or you can get 4 people, or 2 people, whatever. We got on a table of 4. And before you know it, we switched to a table of 10 because we met these other people.
Sure.
Well, we're friends with 4 of the people that were of that 10 to this day. And that cruise was in 1989 or 90.
Wow.
And those people have since moved to Florida. They lived in Massachusetts, Western Mass. They moved to Connecticut. My friend's closer to them than I am, but they're with them all the time. And
It's crazy.
I get a call every once in a while from the husband or the wife, and then now they've moved to Florida. And I got a call recently from them in Florida. I would never have met them, ever have met those people.
And you
had
could
not
stay
been
in
for
the
a
same
cruise.
hotel with them. You'd never know them. You'd stay somewhere else, or just rent a cabana. You'd never meet them, even if they were next door. It's amazing. One of our agents was on a Royal Caribbean ship in Gloria Estefan. I am lousy with names, but I know it was Gloria Estefan.
Right.
Anyway, she's got some kids, and our agent's daughter paired off with one of Gloria Estefan's kids, and they came to Rhode Island, but for the whole week, they spent it up in her suite. And, it's just you're by yourself. I had people on with the Bushes, George and Barbara Bush,
Right.
guy from Rhode Island. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's just a different experience.
And I was talking to a guy last night, a kid that worked on this show for a year as an intern. He's in Lubbock, Texas now, going to getting his master's degree. He's an Asian kid. And we were talking about this very thing last night. He's got a school break coming up. I said, you should go on a cruise, because he's not good with he doesn't have a good game with the woman. First of all, he doesn't speak English very well.
Yeah.
And he's good looking kid, real nice kid. I says, go on a cruise. Oh, I don't want to go on alone. I says, I go on cruises alone all the time.
Sure.
I enjoy going on a cruise alone.
Yeah.
I go on, I sit at a table of 10. I like the big tables. Before you know it, within a day or two, I get to know everybody on the ship.
Yeah.
In fact, quickly, I'll tell you one story. I went on a cruise with a friend of mine one time, and this woman called, her name was Babs, and she was from Baltimore, Maryland. She was an upscale woman, real classy, but she was quite annoying, and she was like, this is my table routine. So you know what I did? The third day, we ended up in Puerto Rico. I went to downtown San Juan. I bought some squirt guns. We go back to the ship for dinner. It's the night with the captain.
Night. Yeah.
And we're sitting there, and I'm sitting right across from her. My buddy doesn't know it. I don't tell him. He's sitting right next to me. So she's sitting across from me. She starts this, her baloney, and I start squirting her under the table, right up her skirt, right, or dress or whatever. And then I ditch my squirt gun, but I lay one right beside my buddy. So she gets up, she's all flustered. She starts screaming and yelling. She goes, what's going on? She looks over and she sees the squirt gun right on his cheek.
She's lucky you didn't go overboard.
All heck broke loose.
You know.
And by the way, it started, she grabbed the gun, started squirting him.
Oh.
So I got my gun, I started squirting her, missed her, went over to the next table. Before you know it, I had the whole floor, the whole dining table, the whole dining area.
Yeah.
People squirting with the captain, right, 6 tables away.
Yeah, you bring out the best in people.
Yeah.
Because it's
people
just
have
so,
fun.
they
You get.
do.
I don't care what economic area they're on or background they are from, what education background they. When they're on a cruise ship, it's like being marooned on a desert island.
It is.
Everybody
or stuck in an elevator. Everybody gets
same.
friendly. Yeah.
Exactly. And the mistake people make is they think, oh, I don't want to go on a boat. I don't want to. They rock and they roll. First of all, they don't.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. It's very unusual, and a couple things that are extremely unusual, like they had the people getting sick on a ship.
Yeah.
That is like so few and far between when you consider how many cruise ships there are out
Exactly.
there, how many trips that
people
they take,
are moving.
how many people you get. These ships now are 5,000 people in the ship.
Yeah.
Do you know I went to cool Finland on a Bob's Big Adventure to actually see a cruise ship being built?
I'm on the Splendor or the Endeavor of the Seas. We watched it being built, and I actually took a piece. One of the welders was cutting out a hole out of the thick metal to run the wires through.
Right.
And I said to him, "Can I have that piece?" And I brought it home with me. I got
no
a piece
kidding.
of the ship. I'm in the book. The book. We actually were under the keel before they put it on with the thrusters, and we're in the book that they passed out. Amazing the way they build them.
And
how
people that
fast.
don't know, the thrusters eliminate the need for tugboats.
Yes,
Because
it pushes
they
it away
can
from
go
the
sideways.
Yeah.
The ships can go sideways. They don't need tugboats to push them sideways and to park them, so to speak.
Yeah.
They don't need that anymore.
No.
I can remember being on a brand new ship that they were showcasing in Boston, and I had this friend of mine. I gave him the video camera, and I told him to follow me around. That's when the president of Carnival. That's where he was there.
That's
that time.
right, Mickey Harrison.
And
Yes.
we're going around, and he's showing me the whole ship, all over the ship, and I got my cameraman all around. We're going around this whole ship in the Boston Harbor. He's got my big camera on his shoulder. The poor guy's carrying this camera the whole time for an hour.
I remember it well.
You remember it well, do you?
Yeah, because Bob didn't tell me to push.
No, you pushed it, but then you pushed it again to turn it off every
Maybe.
time. That's
Whatever
what you
it
did.
was,
You
and-
pressed the red button and then pressed it again, which
So I
turned
spent-
it on and off again immediately.
It was 3 hours or so.
Of nothing.
We had 300 or 400 people up there that wanted to tour the ship. We interviewed Mickey Harrison, the
Yep.
CEO, and I get a call at what, 1 o'clock? Oh, then we went out to Anthony's Pier 4.
Right,
We had
yep.
dinner,
Yep.
celebrate our wonderful film.
Oh yeah, that was going to be a big. That was going to be a big Bob's Big Adventure. Do you remember the ship?
the Fascination?
Nope, Destiny.
Or was it the Destiny that was up? Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Beautiful ship with the big atrium in the center. It was a new first of the new design.
Yes,
that new
yes.
ship, because they always make 3 of them, right?
Always.
Three
To
of
get a
the
better price.
Particular design, right?
Yeah,
And I get home, drop you off, and I go home.
And this is the first time we met. That was the first time we met.
Really?
You had called the office and said, hey, I know the ship is coming into town. Is there any way I can get on? And I said, yeah, all right. And you said, yeah, I want to videotape it. And of course, I forgot to mention the fact that I was going to videotape it. And I get up there with all these people, and I'm like, all right, let's do this. And then I get a call at what, 11, 12 o'clock at night.
Late.
And all I hear is, I said, who the heck can this be? And then I look at your number, and I said, wait a minute, this is that guy I was with today. And he's like, I'm going to kill you. You're going to kill, what's the matter? You didn't tape anything. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me.
There was not 1 minute of tape
my
on that
God.
whole of that.
He's like,
and
it's
I was
gonna be a
wondering why you
fair
never
fight.
changed tapes.
Yeah, well, you know, and of course, my wife said, what happened? I said, you know that film that we just did? As a matter of fact, I think I had ice on my shoulder from carrying that thing.
And it was a hot day, too.
Oh, my God. We went up and down the stairs. We did takes and retakes and retakes.
But the big thing is, like you said, we interviewed the CEO of Carnival.
Yes.
Oh, I interviewed him.
Yep.
And you got that
Nice,
camera
nice
there, and you're
guy.
doing a nice job holding the camera, the whole 9
Great.
yards, while I'm talking to him. Yeah, nice.
Now I know I could be a mover.
Not a shaker, though.
I was shaking after that because, oh my God, that thing was heavy. But
That was the older cameras. That's when they were big.
Yeah,
They were big and
very,
heavy.
yeah.
Now, what are you doing now? You just moved into a new place, right?
yes, we are actually. What happened is, and what has led to the ridiculous growth of Cruz Brothers. Everybody thinks, oh, you guys are still. It's funny when you when we moved from Route 95 over to East Providence off the road. Everybody would say, oh, you guys went out of business, huh?
Right.
No, no.
When you moved out of Wellington.
Out of Wellington, yeah. Because they don't see you there. They figure
You're done.
you disappeared. And absolutely the opposite was true. That was when cruising free really kicked in, which is a way to make everybody who's ever booked through us or who wants to book through us.
A travel agent.
A travel agent.
And the deal is what? You book 15, what is it?
Oh, no, that's to go on a free cruise.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that's always been the case. You know, if you book, of course, it depends on the length of the cruise, depends on the ship.
You book a party, you want a whole bunch of people
Yeah,
to
they
go.
call it a tour conductor.
Right.
So you get one for free. So we
Right.
used to do cruise nights and group nights and stuff, and put them together for churches, organizations. No, but this cruising free is what really kicked in and made the volume jump. I mean, this year it'll be almost 100 million. 100 million. And it's so funny, you know, when we go on the ships now.
You've booked $100 million?
That'll be, last year was 72 million. This year coming up will be 100 million.
Wow. Now,
And
what's a million? Something to do with a million's going on.
Okay. Last year they booked their millionth passenger. A million. It's unreal. It's absolutely
You
unreal.
booked
A
your little
million
cruise?
people. Exactly. From the middle of Thornton, downtown Thornton.
People don't even know what Thornton is. most
Exactly.
people.
Exactly. Well, I know
Thornton's
somebody.
a village, by the way.
Yes.
It's not even a town. It's
Not
a
yeah,
village.
exactly.
It's like Woodlawn is to what Darlington is to Pawtucket.
And I'll tell you what, that office, I still have the best memories there. When we kicked the window in and we poured the cement in to
The basement,
make
the dirt basement.
to make a cement floor. And we finally got it done, and it was all set up. But my father had his law office above us, and he never asked us where the heat was going to come from. And he was a lawyer. He didn't know electrical, plumbing,
sure.
anything, building.
Which
So-
you do, by the way.
Well, now I do, but I had this couple come in from Alpine Estates, and I'll never forget it because I love cars, and the guy looked like something out of GQ magazine, and the wife she was just very, very impressive, very pretty lady, but very wealthy. And the husband had a 550 Mercedes,
yep.
and the wife had the sedan, the 550S.
SEL.
SEL, right. And so anyway, she had this beautiful mink coat on. The husband had this incredible coat on. They came in, and they were standing in. I was booking a cruise for them, and he said, "Oh, this place is new," and I said, "Yeah," and he said, "Don't bother buying." It was in the middle of the winter. He said, "Don't bother buying coat hooks or something because it was a little nippy in there." And I said, "Are you cold?" And he said, "Yeah." And I said, well, "Hang on a minute. I didn't know that." I got up on my chair, and I had a can opener because I had my little dog with me all the time, and I always kept his dog food in my desk. And I got up on my chair, and I reached up to the vent, the ductwork, and I popped the can opener in, and I opened up the hole.
You opened the vent, the duct,
and I kicked it out.
The office, the vent to the office.
It was right above my father's office. And
right below your father's office.
I mean, well, it was, yeah, you're right. You're right. He was right above me. And
no.
so, and I pulled it open, and the guy and his wife are just looking at me. I said, "Look, we aim to please." And I opened the thing up, and I said, "How's that?" And he goes, "I don't believe it." And I said, "Well, we do whatever we have to do here." So after
knowing
that,
you, I believe it.
and so I saw my father later in the day, and he goes,
"Oh,
"Cold in here." And I said, "It's not too bad." He goes, "It's all right downstairs." I go, "Yeah, we'll be all right." And thank God he would have murdered me if he ever found out.
So he's cranking the heat up.
He's cranking the heat up.
I'm giving you
and
more heat.
Exactly.
Down there.
So
You gotta
every
open
once
the
in a while,
doors.
I'd throw him a bone and I'd close the flap a little bit, so I'd give him a little more heat if he really got cranky. But yeah, we had some. You know, when you start working and the people that we had, we still have.
Right, right.
We still have. It's just amazing. One of our agents, Doris Houston, who is from Pawtucket, right next to McCoy Stadium.
Right.
She's still booking cruises, and she just came in. We did a job fair, and she came in. She's 92 years old, still booking, and it's just that's if you do it right and you're honest and you treat people fairly.
They come back.
But they never leave. They never leave. And
No,
they'll
I mean the people they book cruises with
yeah.
them. They become friends.
And we've made it possible for everybody to do it in
Right.
various capacities now. But yeah, right now we have over 6,000 agents.
So how do they become an agent? What do you mean?
Well, remember, I don't know if you remember when we finally fought to eliminate the travel agent license. That was back, God, that was, oh my God, I think it was in 2000. We finally got rid of it. And I'll tell you, for anybody who's trying to find out about licensing, that was the most ridiculous thing I ever saw as far as we went to the State House and we had a bunch of people show up for it. And some guy stood up from the Department of Business Regulation and he said, they said how much, they called him in, they said, "How much do we bring in with travel agent license fees?"
Right.
And it was like $38,000. Okay. And how much does it cost to process these fees and
Right.
to run this, this program?
Right.
And he said like 48,000. Slammo, it's gone.
Gone.
That
End
was
of that
it.
story, yeah.
And I said, that was easy. But yeah, it's crazy. So anyway, the bottom line is you can be a travel agent. You don't need a license.
Right.
And everything's online now. We used to have brochures, piles and piles of brochures. Now there are 314 ships in the water.
unbelievable.
It is. It's
That's
crazy. And before we only had maybe 30 or 40.
And we're running out of time, but my first cruise was on the Festival, which was a 25,000-ton ship.
Sure.
And again, that's a dinghy compared
remember
to
it.
these ships.
Yeah.
But they're 250,000 tons. Some
Oh,
of them.
yeah, no, they're just
the average one's
incredible.
like 180,000 tons, something like 160,000 tons.
Yep.
The one I saw being built was the Mariner of the Seas.
Oh, yes. Yep, I saw it when I was down in Florida.
I saw that before it was finished. I was inside it when they were building
Very
it
cool.
in Turku, Finland.
Yep.
Watching it being built.
Beautiful.
It was amazing to see that. They actually had an ice rink in it.
Yes.
And they had, just like the Boston Garden, they had this push a button or levers or whatever, and out comes the parquet floor right over it. Now it becomes a basketball court. That was unbelievable, what these ships are today. It's absolutely amazing.
And again, I want everybody to know you are more than welcome. Log on to cruisebrothers.com if you're interested in having if you want to join us in any capacity. It's
Right.
cruisebrothers.com.
All right. Well, Thank you for stopping by, Russell. It's
Thank you for
a
having
pleasure.
me.
Now, we got to talk cruises, too, after
All right.
when we get off the air. Because my next cruise, I want to go on a Mediterranean cruise. I need it, but that I would like to have a cruise partner. I would like to have
Sure.
somebody to go with, to go on that cruise. Because being of an Italian heritage,
Yeah.
mostly Italian heritage, I have never been to Italy. And I
yeah.
figured the best way to view Italy, explore Italy, is on a cruise. Because you
Absolutely.
can hit
You can keep
four
moving.
or 5 stops, and you don't have to keep packing and unpacking your luggage, and you don't have to pay the big money. I looked at hotel rooms out there; they're off the charts.
They
you pay
are.
$300 a night for a hotel
And
room.
you're protected from all of that.
Right, and you go back to your ship. If you don't want to eat out there, you go back to your ship and eat at the ship. People don't realize that
Yeah.
all the food is for free on a cruise
right.
ship. Your booze, you can get a booze extra package if you want the booze. I don't drink, but the food is all you want to
Everything
eat.
you want.
And I'll never forget, last but not least, this young couple, well, 3 young couples were across from me from Michigan, and they're excited about having a surf and turf, right? A lobster tail and a steak. And I called my waiter over, and I told him what I wanted him to do, and he comes over and he throws another set of lobsters, and they think I'm a hero.
Sure.
Didn't cost me a dime.
Yeah,
and my buddy that I took the original cruise with me, he's there and he can't decide on the 1 of 5 entrees. He cannot pick which one he wants. So I call the waiter over, tell him what I want him to do. His wife's going, come on, George, pick your. Oh, I can't figure it out because they have 5 main courses, 5 starches,
Exactly.
5 vegetables, 5 salads, all that stuff. So he comes over and they put all 5 of them in front of him.
Nice.
All 5
go
main
above and
courses
beyond.
in front of him. He was astounded. He didn't know what the
Sure.
heck was going on.
It's a
But
trip
they
of a
want
lifetime.
to make you happy on a cruise
That's
ship.
right. Because they know you'll come back.
Exactly. My next cruise, the Mediterranean. I'm looking for a cruise partner, a good cruise partner to go on that cruise. I'd like to take that 10, 12-day cruise
Yep.
around
Yep, we've done
Italy and maybe hit France and on Nice, France or something, and Barcelona, Spain
Yeah,
maybe.
yep, we did.
Right? Or Croatia or something, go the other way,
Sure.
And I'd like to do that in April, I guess. April or May.
Call the Cruise Brothers.
Call the cruise brothers. April or May, that's a good time of year to go there, right?
Oh, yeah.
Before the
Beautiful.
kids get out of school,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And the weather's just breaking. The
Just-
weather's finally good, right?
Yeah.
So it's not too hot. I don't want to be there in July, June, or July.
No, exactly. Not that it's crazy,
Right.
but that's a good time to go.
Yeah, yeah.
And now you've got your choice of so many ships, so many different destinations.
And then I'm thinking about, I'd like to do a cruise in the Orient in the wintertime.
nice.
In December and Christmas time. I don't have any kids to worry
Yeah.
about. I'm
Yeah.
all done with the Toys for Tots. And,
Yeah.
I
Nice
thought
trip.
about coming back for the 25th, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah.
But I've never been able to take a trip in December because of it, or November, and December's the best time to do a cruise or a trip anyway in that part of the world
Yes.
because of the weather.
Yeah.
It gets too hot in March and April and May in that part of the world. So I would like to do a December
Yeah. Nice.
ship. Either a ship trip or a land package, but a ship sounds good. I
Well,
think it sounds-
you can do a land pre-cruise, post-cruise.
Right,
get
right.
off
That's the
and-
other thing about going to Italy. That was
Sure.
part of my plan. I want to fly into Rome a couple of days before.
Yeah.
Because everybody says, oh, you need more than a day. Okay, I'll go to Rome. I'll spend a couple of days in Rome
Yes.
and pay $300 a night for the hotel in Rome, and then have to pay to go out and eat, and then have to pay for my entertainment. I've actually seen some of the best entertainers ever on cruise ships.
Oh, yeah. That's where they get their start.
Yeah.
They won't get on if they're not top-notch. Comedians.
Actually, I saw the magician. I love magicians. What's his name? The famous one, David Copperfield. On a
Oh,
cruise
he was
ship
on a ship?
years
Yeah.
ago. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe it. Saw a lot of famous people on board. And either being a passenger or just coming up. Gary Valentine was on. He was a nightclub act
Yep, yep.
on the ship.
And last but not least, folks, you'll make a lot of friends on a cruise ship. In fact, you'll run into people you know. Cruises, these ships are over 1,000 feet long now.
Yeah, yeah.
And I hear some guy yelling, Bob, way
But everybody
down the
knows
other
you.
end.
That's-
Way down the other end. And I thought catching up to him, and he knew me from Pawtucket. I didn't know
crazy.
him, but he knew me from Pawtucket.
When we were in Florida, the same thing happened. It's unbelievable how many people know you.
It's crazy. It's
It
crazy.
is.
And Turku, Finland, by the way, not Turku, but when I get off the boat in Helsinki, Finland, I go to wait for the bus, and I'm sitting there, and there's only one person also waiting for the bus, and everything's in Finnish, so I don't know what bus I'm taking. So I look over to the guy who's about 8 feet away from me. I said, excuse me, sir, do you speak English? He goes, yeah, Bob. I went, what?
Wow.
He goes, so I think he looked at my luggage or
Yeah.
something. So I go, you said, yeah, Bob. He goes, yeah, that's your name, isn't it? I go, yeah. He goes, well, so I said, yeah, Bob. I said, well, how do you know my name? He goes, well, I know everybody knows who you are.